Stop making videos for a few months and you forget how to do it. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Britt, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you probably should, because I normally talk about geeky things. And hey, I'm back. And I'm back at you with an update video. So I have been gone for like 9 months, which for somebody who was planning on making a video for 5 days a week for this year, that really obviously failed tremendously. For those of you who are unaware of why I took my little break from YouTube, at first it was because I felt kind of jilted over the fact that they have redone the partner program and I was being kicked out, and what little money I was actually getting was really helpful from time to time, and it was just kind of a big bummer. And I was in a position of really bad finances and I was feeling really crappy about myself to begin with, and just adding that on top of it just was very, very difficult for me to deal with emotionally. So I knew I needed to take a little bit of a break, get some ideas in order, get some thoughts in order, and decide what to do after that, which I have now done. Actually, I was ready to come back in May. However, then my laptop decided to die. So that was fantastic. And because I couldn't afford a decent laptop that could do the video editing that I do on a regular basis, it just made sense for me to continue taking my break. And it felt good, I'll be honest. It felt good to take this break, but at the same time, I missed doing this. This has become such a passion project of mine that I miss doing it all the time. I miss talking to you guys. I miss bringing these ideas out and, talking about them. So I decided to give you guys a little bit of an update video. Obviously, I am in my new studio. It is still a work in progress. There's going to be a lot more art going up, and I'll give you guys a quick overview of that art once it all goes up. It's all waiting to be framed and put up right now. So hopefully I get to that very, very soon, and we'll have a more established set going forward. But we've painted, we have moved things around. My manga collection used to be over there, which is where I used to do my videos. Anyway, let's get caught up, shall we? So what have I been doing since I gave up YouTube for a little while? I've been doing actually quite a few things, mostly work, but I've done a few really fun things. The very first clip you're gonna see is actually a clip from my niece's recital band concert that she did. I'm so proud of my nieces and my nephew. They're all incredibly talented. They are all incredibly smart and all incredibly athletic. I am just so impressed by those children and teenagers now that are in my family. I can't believe my twin nieces are going to be 14. They were born my senior year of high school. It makes me feel very old. My friend ended up with what ended up basically being free tickets to go see Jennifer Hudson. It was all for a really great cause, the Pacer program here. I'll leave links below so you can kind of get to an idea of what they are. It was a benefit program, and we ended up with tickets to be able to go and see Jennifer Hudson live, and it was amazing. Most of those were filmed for either Snapchat or for Instagram. So one, you've probably already seen most of those clips, and two, they were not shot with YouTube in mind. So there's that. Shortly after that, my friend Kelly, the same friend that ended up with the tickets to go and see Jennifer Hudson, also ended up with tickets to go and see Shania Twain. So I've always been a big country fan, and Shania Twain is a really big part of that, and it was so much fun to be able to go and see Shania Twain with one of my closest friends. Don't impress me. So that leads us to the end of May, and because I am incredibly Norwegian, I wanted to celebrate 17. Mai, which we celebrate every year. 17. Mai translates to the 17th of May. It is Norway's Constitution Day, and whether or not you are a Norwegian living in Norway or a Norwegian living in America, you generally do celebrate 17. Mai. So I went to the Norwegian Lutheran Church in Minneapolis, and I don't have any good video of it because I was in a church and I didn't know how they would feel about me filming. But listen to some beautiful Norwegian being spoken. So Memorial Day weekend, my family always makes a pilgrimage up to where I grew up in order to take care of the graves of my grandfather and my aunt Teresa, who passed away. We usually do this trip with my grandmother, but unfortunately, if you guys remember me talking about a loss in the family, that was in fact my grandmother. And so she now is also buried there, though her tombstone wasn't in place. So we actually ended up having to put something else in its place just to have a marker to make sure we knew how it was going to kind of look and be able to put the decorations around it. My grandmother was always really big about decorating the graves to like the nth degree. And so we are carrying on that tradition for her as she is now gone and making sure that her grave is as beautiful as ever. At some point, I'll take you guys up there to go see her actual tombstone and what my aunt has decided to do with the remaining plot that does exist next to my grandma.
40 inches to them. I didn't know what that meant.
40 inches, which is another 6 inches. So it's going to be, it'll be over, it'll be about.
What? I mean, someone stole it or took it.
You know what you're, don't ruin this shit, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But I can certainly do it too, Mark. Yeah.
So after that, my dad and I drove back home, and my mom stayed with her sisters and her brother. And then the very next day, they all made the pilgrimage back here to take care of my other aunt who passed away. My mom actually has a sister she never met, died in 1957 at the age of 2.5. Before my grandmother passed away last September, she ended up putting 2 of her children and her husband in the ground. And I don't know where she got the courage to continue fighting her cancer. I feel like I would be so ready to be done after all of that. But we took care of Sandy's grave as well.
Yeah. I kept watching it. Like, well.
And not only do we take care of Sandy's grave while we're there, but where Sandy is buried at Resurrection Cemetery in Mendota Heights, it's filled with all kinds of other children, and some of them are completely forgotten graves. And I can only imagine when you lose a child how hard it must be to go and visit their grave. So we take care of all of the graves whenever we have that opportunity. After my mom said her goodbyes to her sisters and her brother and her sister-in-law, my mom, dad, and I got in the car, and we actually made our own pilgrimage to go and see some graves that we haven't seen either ever or for a very long time. So my dad surprised me with a visit to my great-grandpa Broker, my great-grandma Broker, and my great-great-grandma Angel's graves in Verndale, Minnesota.
And this is, we called her Granny. She
was our great grandma, but she was your great great.
Remember me?
Oh my goodness.
This is Grandpa, but for some reason there's no stone for Grandma. And all they did was they dug up the hole.
And just in eyesight of that same cemetery was the farm that my grandfather built. And so the reason why this became super important is because, one, I've never been to that farm, and number two, I had found pictures of that farm when my great-great-grandfather was just a child, when he was just a teenager, and he drew the farm and decided he was going to build it. And so I decided for Christmas last year I was going to get them matted and framed for my father, along with a little thing written that was the help of with my aunt. I got written because I never met my great-grandfather, so I knew nothing about it. But with her help, we got this little thing written, and now my dad has it hanging up in the house. after that, we went to go visit my grandfather, my grandpa Hallis, who died when I was 4 in 1990 from his like 11th heart attack, I think. This year would have marked his 100th birthday, and so my dad just really wanted to see him and wanted to see his grave, and we hadn't been to Wadena in a very long time to see my grandfather's grave, so we decided to do that as well. I'm going to get into this in a future video. However, I have started doing my family tree, and in doing so, I have learned about the burial of my great-great-great-grandparents who came here from Poland, Jacob and Christina Yorick, and I found out where they were buried. And my mom seemed to think that they were buried in the same cemetery that her grandparents, her dad's parents, were buried in. So we went to go see my great-grandparents' graves.
Now it's gotten to a point where people come to graveyards.
So I will tell you in this next clip, I do misspeak. I say my 6 times great-grandparents. I meant 6 generations back, which are my 3 times great-grandparents. But let me kind of explain to you in that video where I am actually in the moment. Let me explain to you what's going on. Now we're trying to find my 6-time great-grandparents. Yeah, I'm not seeing them either. Which is weird because it was listed as this cemetery.
Nothing here looks too old. So I'm wondering if it was a country church before and there's another cemetery.
I don't know. Look it up. We'll see. So it turns out there was a sister church in Bolus, Minnesota versus being in Pierce. So we got in the car and we drove to Bolus and we found the graves. That was fun. We are guessing that this at one point must have been a Polish Catholic church because all of these tombstones are written in Polish for the dates. And a lot of the last names look Polish. So that's really cool. So that is over here, my 3 times great-grandparents, Jacob and Christina Yorick. And then eventually the last name was changed to be a Y instead of a J. And then we also found this one over here, so I'm going to have to do some more research. Another Yorick here. And again, it's written in Polish, so I'm going to have to do some more research on that and figure out what we're looking at. So this is pretty cool. It's a very old cemetery. There's a tombstone over here that was 1910. Wow, so that was my 3 times great-grandparents right there. One mystery that I would love to solve is when Christina actually died. That is kind of one of my big goals right now, is trying to figure out when Christina died, because we don't have that date even on her tombstone. So we don't know if she's actually buried here or not, but we don't know when she died. So I'd like to find that out. That's my goal. Upon doing further research, not only was that a Polish Catholic church, but it is still a Polish community and Polish Catholic church. And we found out that Holy Cross just seems to be a running theme, at least in the state of Minnesota, for Polish Catholic churches. And there's even one here in Minneapolis, so my mom and I are eventually going to go and start embracing our Polish heritage. Also, upon further research, that tombstone with the Jan, or John, which Americanized is actually just John, he was in fact Jacob and Christina's son. So I did figure that out as well. So this silly little video was my mom and I decided after the gym one day that we were just gonna go take a hike in the woods to go to the Minnesota River, just to see how high the river was at the time, because sometimes the Minnesota River can get really, really high right there, and it was really fun to go and see. So we took this trip down and the river was not high at all. Like crap, because we just got back from the gym, but we're walking down this really beautiful path in Bloomington, and I don't know, we're walking to the river because my mom needs to, apparently. This is also not the river. Oh. Well, Well, the stream's kind of dry. Walked all the way down to the river. Now we're on our way back. And I shouldn't be doing this while I'm about to walk downhill. Especially when it's really like silty.
It's selfie day.
Silty.
Oh, selfie day.
So, I don't know if I'm going to put this up as just a really weird random little thing or when I start making videos again.
And your mother's in the pictures?
And it's funny because, like, you look nothing like my mother because I look so much like Dad. Anyway. So I don't know when you're going to see this, but if you see it, cool. If you don't, ever. Okay, bye. My dad nicely reminded us that there are cougars in these woods. So, that's exciting. 3 of my friends, Kelly, and Leah, all have season tickets to the Orpheum Theater in Minneapolis. And Leah couldn't go and see Love Never Dies, which is the sequel to Phantom of the Opera. So she asked if I wanted to go in her stead, and I jumped at the opportunity because not only do I love musical theater, but I love Andrew Lloyd Webber and I love Phantom of the Opera. So I went.
Well, it locked off at some point apparently, but apparently it just went into here. So I'm just gonna keep that so they don't think I'm like cheating the system. Yeah. Just gonna. What are you? Oh.
My other friend Brooke had decided a while ago to get a pet bunny, and because I worked in the pet industry for so long, she depended on me to kind of help her out with care and figuring out how to do it. And of course, when the day came, she wanted me to be by her side to go and get her pet bunny Leroy.
A bunny.
I thought it was a photo at first, so also it's a video.
It's my friend's new little bunny. We are at Pita Pit in Hudson, Wisconsin, getting some lunch. But one of us is staying in a car with the bunny. And so I said, I know exactly what I like at Pita Pit, so why don't I just tell you what I like, and then you can go grab it, and I can stay in the car with Leroy. Isn't he cute? Oh my god. He's so cute. I love him. He's not even mine. So then that leads us to the 4th of July. And so we always have the same family tradition on the 4th of July. We go to Delano, Minnesota, and we watch my sister and my niece run in a 5K there. And then we watch the parade in Delano. And then we go back to my sister's house a few cities away. And we have some fun outside. But this particular 4th of July was quite rainy. This whole summer has been quite rainy for the state of Minnesota on average, so it's been quite rainy in general. It's a rainy 4th of July this year. The rain eventually did dry up and we went back to my sister's house, and just as we were getting out of the car, we hear tornado sirens, and having just been in rain and storms outside underneath a bunch of umbrellas, it was kind of freaky. And then we walked into the house and my sister went, "By the way, it is Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And we all went, right. That is when the state of Minnesota runs its tornado drills, and all of the sirens in the entire state go off all at the same time. So we're really feeling a lot better after that.
I'm gonna sing you, Ace. Let's do it.
Uh-oh.
Ace! Come
Ace,
on!
are you here?
I have competing voices over here. Remarkable that smoke, too.
It keeps going. Oh, so close, Damien. After that is when we ended up painting my new walls. So I'm gonna let Past Brit take you through that adventure instead of explaining it myself. So have fun, Past Brit. So if you guys have been paying attention whenever I do videos over on my couch, you'll notice that this wall has been absolutely disgusting ever since we put it up. And so hopefully that'll be changing here in the next week or so. My mom and I are going to sand all of my unfinished walls, and then we're going to paint. And then really all that's going to be left is just finishing up the bathroom, finishing up what's left for the kitchen, which is fixing an electrical issue we have with one of the outlets so we can put my refrigerator back to where it needs to be. And then basically just decorating after that. New carpet and eventually new floor in the kitchen as well, but that's waiting until the new carpet. Yeah, so soon I'll be able to paint, which is great because even though I really like this green color that has been kind of a staple for me since I moved here, because we painted it like the first week I lived here, we painted it this green color. And a lot of you, if you've looked back on my videos, a lot of you will recognize, like, see these spots. These are actually from when I had my stuff hanging. This is where I did my videos before, but I didn't have this bed. So basically this would have been, this-ish would have been what you guys would have seen in previous videos, in my old videos when I did my videos in front of my wall, my green wall. So this has been my green wall forever, for the last 10 years, but it's time. It's definitely time to change it up. My style's changed, and I'm looking forward to making those changes. So anyway, I'm gonna sand the heck out of these walls that need to be finished, and hopefully soon I will have finished apartment. And finally, after 10 years, finally finished, because this was a project that slowly started when I first moved in and we first painted, knowing that we were going to change some things up, like the kitchen, and everything. And finally, about 2 years ago, actually 2 years ago, because my Facebook memories say it was 2 years ago. But 2 years ago, we started the project of actually like renovating my kitchen and renovating my bathroom, and fully closing in my unit again, because this unit used to be, so my dad first bought the house, it was closed up, and then he opened it, and then I moved back in, and then we decided to close it up again, since my stay has become a little more permanent than we had originally anticipated. So we're going to make this like a true apartment again. And the funny thing is, even when we painted before, as you can see here, there is some portion of this particular wall that was never finished painting, because my dad still had storage, because there wasn't enough room all the time, so my dad still had storage right there. So that was actually remained unpainted all these 10 years. Then we finally moved that stuff and we were gonna paint it, but then I decided I wanted to paint different colors, and then that turned into waiting until the renovation was finished. So that's why that never actually got painted over there. So anyway, it's also Cosmo's 10th birthday. What day? Anyway, yeah, I'm done. Bye. Painting tonight, and my accent walls are done. So got got this kind of brown burgundy, and then in my kitchen you have that same brown burgundy, and then one other place that we have the brown burgundy, which my place is a mess because we're painting. But if you look back, if you look back there in that corner, we also painted it that red burgundy. So I'm very excited, or that brown burgundy. So I am so excited. I love this color for an accent. I would not love it all the way around, but I love it as an accent, and I'm super excited. So I can't wait to put the gray up and see how it looks with the gray. Oh, I'm so excited. And then, so we're doing the living room and the kitchen today, and then tomorrow we'll be doing the bedroom area. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so beautiful. Say goodbye to this green. I mean, I love this green. It's still my favorite shade of green ever, but it's just not my wall color anymore. So, I'm so excited. So what is right behind me? Well, obviously a light. What's right behind me is actually where I used to shoot my videos from, because my manga shelf used to be right here. It is not there anymore. It is now over here. And it's exciting because roughly like this is going to be the new angle for my videos, which you've already seen, obviously, because when I put all of these clips together, I'll be filming in front of it with more stuff up. But we finally painted, and I'm super excited. I'm super happy. There's Disney kind of everywhere, just kind of floating around everywhere, because out of everything, I love Disney the most of everything. So it's gonna be so much fun to start filming from right there. It's gonna be so much fun now that I've got everything painted. Oh my gosh. And then over here is my beautiful accent wall, and this is going to be my Disney wall, so everything on here is gonna be Disney. But it's so great. My anime collections is still in the same place. It's a dust. And then my movies are all in the same place, but because of all the construction going on this weekend that we were doing, dust is everywhere, so I do need to clean that up. But okay, back to future Britt, who is filming in front of her new wall. Thanks, past Britt, and your painting still looks good today. You still like it. You still are very happy with the way it looks. Just so you know. I don't know why I took this short little clip, but I decided to throw it in there anyway. My cat Corbett decided to climb onto my belly, and I took this clip just for fun. I have to go meet my friend, and I have my cat on my stomach because apparently I'm comfortable, so that's okay because we're not gonna get much time left with Corbett, so I don't mind. But I do have to get up because I also have to go to the bathroom. But I live under my cat now, so look at her. Oh, what a sweet baby girl. I love my girl. Towards the end of summer, we were able to catch my nephew's final lacrosse games, and he's still not great at lacrosse. He is still brand new at it. It's his first year. He's 6 years old now. He was 5 at the time, but he's 6 now. He had a birthday recently. And let's just say he's the smallest one on the team. And my nephew's lacrosse game. And that one's not paying attention. I mean, just paying attention to the game, not to me.
Look at Jack, Everett! Look at Jack!
Come on, GT! Pass it! Or run with it, that works too. Oh, GT. If you haven't played Pokemon Go in a while, you can actually catch Mew now. So my friend Kelly and I went out Pokemon hunting because she just recently gotten back into the game the night actually that we went to go see Love Never Dies, and she still needed to find certain things in order to get to Mew. So we went out Pokemon hunting in hopes of getting her as close as we could to Mew. It ended up not being such a successful Pokemon hunting trip, but it did turn out to be just a fun time with an amazing friend of mine. Are you having fun?
Yes.
Okay. We're adults.
I never said I needed to act my age.
My nieces came over for a girls' weekend with me and my mom. You'll see in a full video our adventure to Como Park Zoo, but afterwards we took them to their horseback riding lessons and I got to watch my nieces do some jumping, which some basic beginner jumping, mind you. Oopsies. So those are all the video clips that I have for you from the last 9-ish months. Actually, the first one was in May, so it's from May until just a few weeks ago. I hope you guys enjoyed those videos. Now let's talk about the future of this channel. One of my biggest hurdles that I've been facing over the last few years on this channel has been staying relevant in the world of anime and manga. The truth of the matter is I don't watch a ton of anime anymore, and only just because I fell into a funk, and I do this from time to time. I fall into funks with anime. I eventually get back into it, but it just sometimes takes a little bit of extra time. It's going to be really hard for me to make, good reviews and things like that when I'm not watching a ton of it. So what I want to do with my anime content is start big conversations. The reason why I love anime, the thing that gets me into anime series at all is the social commentary involved in the anime itself. So I want to start big conversations. Things like sexism in anime, the LGBTQ plus community and anime, whether it is an actual shonenai or yaoi series, or if it's a shonen that is not, and how they are portrayed, how the GLBTQ community is portrayed in shonen versus how they probably should be, things like that. Those are the kinds of things that I want to start talking about. And if you guys have big conversations that you guys want to hear me talk about, do the research and talk about, let me know in the comments below. I am super excited about doing this and having a lot of fun with it. But either way, there are so many other things I want to try with this channel. I want to talk about Disney some more. I want to go and do adventures. One of the big things I want to start doing is discovering who I am as a Norwegian American and as a Polish American. I want to learn what that means. I want to start really exploring those communities and really getting involved, and maybe even one day going to Norway and going to Poland and going to Germany for other reasons, which I will get to in a different video. And the very first video of that will be actually me talking about my family history, talking about my family tree, and taking a DNA test. So look forward to that. That is coming eventually when I actually get the DNA test and get it sent in and then get the results back, because there's that. I just want to see if I'm actually as Polish as they say I am. But I want to start doing mukbangs because I think they sound like fun, and I'm a fat person who wants to eat all the time. So hey, let's go for it. Let's eat. Let's eat. I also want to start a new series where I tell you guys stories and drink wine, because a lot of these stories are going to be the reason why I drink, which is the tagline for Wine Story Time. But either way, I'm going to start telling you guys crazy stories about my life, whether it was from when I was a kid to just a few days ago as I was dealing with our Linksys system, and they're incredibly stupid tech people. So there's that. They are the reason I drink. Either way, I think this is going to be a lot of fun going forward, and I hope you guys are along for the ride. I'm back and I'm feeling good about it. I want to do at least one video a week. If not, start doing 2 videos a week, and then maybe even build up to 3 or maybe 4, or maybe even try that 5 days a week thing again. In order to do that, I need to make sure that this is a viable source of income, as I said before. So if you guys want to help out this channel and help this channel grow, down below I have links to both Patreon and Ko-fi. So Patreon is where you donate per month and you get cool perks like talking to me if you really want to do that. And then Ko-fi is a one-time thing where you don't get any perks, but you're just kind of helping out the channel whenever you see fit. So I have left both of those links down below, and if you guys want to help out, I would greatly appreciate it. It would be fantastic of you. Thank you so much if that is something you choose to do. If you choose not to do it, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to do it because I love it. I have been battling with doing a Patreon for a long, long time. when the partnership program thing got pulled from underneath me, I decided that it was just the right thing for me to do, to actually do it so that I can try to turn this hobby into a lucrative something. Anyway, that is all I've got for you guys this time. I will see you guys all next week. And actually, I'll see you guys all tomorrow with a trailer for the upcoming Brit, what I call it, 5.0. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you guys all next week with another me just talking at your faces.